This is Andras's last supper, Katie.
That's it. Won't be long now.
Oh my god! Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek, you're watching Kevin the Geek. So, this video is my Inside Number 9 Series 1 Episode 6 video. A little bit differently to before what I've done with all the others. I've just done a very short, like 1 minute video to show you where you can get access to the video. In this particular one, I am going to do a bit of a review of Series 1. And so this is taken from the episode itself. So if you watch all of the video of Episode 6, then this bit will, of course, be airing at the end of the whole video anyway. But, of course, if you want to see it, then feel free to do it here. And I'm going to put the links to every single episode of Series 1 in the video description below so that you can see it. And also, there'll be a link to the playlist where you can see all of the episodes, which it does include the Christmas special from Series 3, The Devil at Christmas, and the Series 8 episode 3x3. So, I hope you enjoy my review of Series 1.
A few moments later.
That was just creepy as hell. The most darkest, the most disturbing. I'd probably say the least amount of comedy in that one. Like, I'd say 4 out of the 5 episodes have very much been a little bit comedic. And then we get, you know, the sort of twist. That's where we go really dark. The last Gasp episode and this one are the complete opposites of each other, and it's ironic that they're the 2 episodes that one of the main pairing of Steve and Reece, that they weren't in it. So Last Gasp seemed very, very light-hearted ending compared to the other episodes. This one, the most darkest of twists out of all of them. So, Series 1, as a whole, I loved it. I'm going to try and take away my views, of course, on the 3x3 episode and the Devil at Christmas episode. I'll try and keep them completely out of the equation. Just talk about Series 1. Sardines is obviously the hardest one for me to remember. I watched it first a year ago. Then we had A Quiet Night In, which was the sort of the silent movie style one. Then we had Tom and Jerry, which is the one where you had the homeless guy, Mig. Last Gasp, which was the celebrity one with the balloon containing his last breath. The Understudy was obviously the theatre one, and then the harrowing we've just seen. I would say Sardines probably had the most amount of comedy to it. And from what I remember, and I would also say it was probably the most confusing that I think I felt when it came to the end. Like, I get what was happening. I think I probably needed to rewatch it in order to understand the reasons why. So, you know, I could say that may be, you know, a reason that I could say that could have been a little bit better written or a little bit better performed, just to make that slightly clearer for me personally. You may completely disagree. Episode 2 was A Quiet Night In. Like I said, that was the one that was sort of an homage to the silent movies and that sort of era. I loved that episode. That was fantastic. There was like, what, 1 sentence of dialogue in the whole thing. It was hilarious from start to finish. It was shocking from start to finish. All these little things that just kept creeping in. And then the big twist, an amazing twist. Tom and Jerry. That one just felt so sad when you realised the twist. It was the saddest twist, I think. But as an overall episode, I'd say maybe second to this one. That was making me wonder, what the hell is going on? What the hell is the twist going to be? Didn't have a clue what was kind of going on there. Last Gasp was a weird one because it sort of felt very inside number 9 from the episodes. At that point, it was probably the 6th episode that I'd seen. And it felt very much, you've got some comedy, you've got a horrible situation, things are going wrong, you have a twist at the end, but it was the nicest twist you could ever possibly have, where this little girl just got the balloon that was filled with the last breath, which officially was the last breath of the celebrity, after it turned out that he was actually alive overall, and then he was murdered in order to make it officially his last breath. And then she just goes, you know, the smartest, probably 9-year-old kid or so ever, where she just gets the balloon, attaches the helium balloons in there. Let's let it float away. Let's let it float away into bliss. And you have the beautiful song playing over the top. That was an ending which I can understand why people may not have liked it. I personally really did like it. The understudy, I think I loved arguably the most from a biased point of view, because I'm a theatre performer. I do amateur theatre, and I understand a lot about that world. So for me, on a biased point of view, that's probably why I might enjoy that the most. Is it necessarily the best? It's a difficult one to say. And then, of course, the harrowing. That one was just dark. Dark from start to finish. Very little laughter. And it is something that would be interesting to see, what people's thoughts were. I did a very brief look. When I look at the Wikipedia page, and I granted I know it's Wikipedia, so I'll take every bit of information with a pinch of salt. But this is what it kind of says in it. Critics agree that the episode was the most gothic and scary of the series. I would agree. With journalists writing for the Sunday Times saying that the harrowing would be best avoided for those of a nervous disposition. I would agree. Critics in the Metro felt the episode was a poor finale for the series, and the ending was unsatisfying. By contrast, Alex Hoskins for the Cheddar Valley Gazette, wow, what a publication, felt the episode's ending was very strong. And Bruce Dessau described harrowing as an excellent end to the series. On an Empire Online list, the harrowing, particularly its final scene, was selected as the 17th best TV moment of the year. And that was 2014. So, yeah, real big mixture of opinions with that one. Obviously, the 4 movies that I chose to watch for this Halloween, I deliberately chose ones that were comedy movies, generally speaking, because I'm not a big advocate and I'm not a big fan of traditional horror movies. Because for me, what it always comes down to, they try and make them as gruesome as possible, as disgusting as possible. And that's why I typically don't enjoy horror movies. I watched The Shining, the first movie I reacted to on the channel last Halloween. That was one that I loved because of how dark, twisted, creepy, suspenseful, so many different words you could use to describe it. That, for me, was one that I enjoyed, of a more along the lines of a traditional horror movie. This is probably along those kind of lines. So if I was to like a horror movie, this is more the style I think I would probably enjoy. Something that is just creepy and disturbing, more so than slasher, bloody, gory kind of thing. I hope that makes sense for you guys. If I put them in any kind of order, this would be a tough one. It would be really tough to put these episodes in a particular order. And I'm literally working, I've not planned this at all, so bear with me. I would probably say in 6th place, because I'm probably going to try and judge this on the episode as a whole and the story it's telling, how shocking the twist was, yeah, I think they're the main 2 things I would have to put into context. So I would probably go with Sardines in 6th place. Not because it wasn't bad at all. I would say, because the comedy stuff was good. It was a really good introduction to the concept of the show. The twist, I think, again, it was good. It was shocking, but because I needed a bit of clarification, I think that's the biggest reason I have to put that towards the bottom. That's the biggest thing. I would then go with... I'd probably go with Last Gasp. And that one is probably one that, again, for what I read up about it, people are like, oh, I didn't really like it. It's too light. It's too this and that and the other. And I think it's just because I think the others are better. It's not that this is a bad one. I like the twist ending, although it does feel like one that should have been a bit easier for me to spot and know that that was going to be the twist. But I love the ending. I did. The ending was a twist, but again, it's something I should have been able to spot. Yeah, that's where I'll go with that. So Last Gasp in 5th place, excuse me. Then, I would probably then go with The Harrowing. So the one that we just watched, episode 6, that'll be in 4th place. And I think, again, it's something that I just feel the twist at the end was maybe, again, a bit on the nose and should be expected with that one. Then we're getting to 3 twists that I really was not expecting. With The Quiet Night and Tom and Jerry and The Understudy. I'd probably put Tom and Jerry in 3rd. That was a great episode, and it left you questioning so much stuff throughout the episode. So that one I'm going to put 3rd. Oh, 1st and 2nd. It's do I go with what I think is probably the cleverest episode, the cleverest concept? Actually, I mean, they're both clever concepts, aren't they? Because you've got A Quiet Night In, which is basically an homage to silent movies, and you've got The Understudy, which is basically a sort of a direct sort of play on the Macbeth story and making it almost like a play within a play within a play. It's so difficult. You know what? I'm going to put my personal bias aside. I'm going to put The Understudy as the 2nd best episode of the 1st series. And I'm going to put A Quiet Night In. I'm going to put A Quiet Night In as number 1, as the best episode of the 1st series. There you go. They are my final thoughts with that one. There is something that I, unfortunately, am not going to really be able to see, which is apparently a webisode, which also aired in 2014, and it came out around about the time of the 2nd episode, called The Inventors. And basically, this is something that would have been like an interactive story through like BBC Red Button or something like that at the time. So, of course, it's not something I'm going to really be able to watch, unfortunately, because what I read, it sounds pretty cool. Stars Tom Verrill and Dan Renton Skinner as brothers whose mothers died in the Great Storm of 1987. The story is told through a series of cinemagraphs with dialogue. The episode is interactive, advancing only with input from the viewer. So, yeah, that would have been really cool to see, but I can't because I don't have the red button and stuff like that. I mean, someone may have recorded it and you may be able to technically watch it, but it won't be the same as you physically, interacting with it, So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Series 1. Overall, yeah, great series. And, of course, coming up in a couple of days' time on Halloween night itself, of course, I'm doing the Halloween special, which aired 4 years after this. So it's basically between Series 4 and 5. It's an episode called Deadline, and it was a live episode, a live broadcast rather than a pre-recorded episode. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So thank you so very much for watching this. Like I said, if this is the first video of mine that you're seeing for Inside Number 9, I'm going to try and put the links to all 6 episodes of Series 1 in the video description. Of course, there is the playlist that will show you every episode in order that I've done them, and of course that will include the Christmas special, which I think was after series... Oh no, it was basically the first episode of Series 3, and that was of course The Devil of Christmas. And then from Series 8, the 5th episode was 3x3, which is again something that when you're watching, take into consideration the fact that I did not know it was an Inside Number 9 episode at the time of me watching it. So there you go. Thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate I've talking so much longer than I really expected, so I appreciate you if you have stuck with me to this point. But for now, my name is Kevin. I am a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.